Hello everybody, welcome back, welcome back. This is part two of our Let's Make a Dashboard for Truck Simulators using SimHub. So if you watched my last video, you'll see that we made this cool gauge cluster. I did notice after the fact that I had reversed the the tachometer and the speedometer, so I just flip-flopped them. That's easy enough. You just select it, move it over, slide the other one over. But today we're going to be building what I like to call the six pack, which is just going to be 6 gauges. It's going to look something like this. Let me bring it up real quick. I think this is a good example. So this one will have a voltmeter for our battery. It'll show us our water temp, our fuel, our air pressure, our oil temperature, and our oil pressure. And all these will work and be tied into the telemetry in game, so they will show you just like what you would see if you were looking at the dashboard. So let's go ahead and make these. So to start, what I like to do is I'll keep this open because I'll use it for reference, and sometimes you can copy and paste different bits and bobs if you need to. Just one moment. I'm really sorry I had to sneeze. Alright, so let's see. We'll create a new dashboard. We're going to name this one Simple Gauges Dash 6 Dash Pack. So from this new one, we're going to grab a dial gauge once again. We're going to go through the same process we did before by getting rid of some of the pieces that we don't necessarily want to see. And this is completely up to you. You can just follow along and customize it however you want it. So we've got our dial and stroke color out of the way. We're going to get rid of our glow color. We're going to also get rid of the radial gauge color. And then I think that's good. So now what we can do is we can reference our sweep angles. Where did they go? Our start angle and sweep angles. So we got 144 and 250. So let's go ahead and set that. 144 and 250. Okay. Yep, there we go. So now let's copy and paste this so we can see about what size we need to make these so that they all fit. So we'll start with this one. Let's say go to 400 by 400 to start. Let's see how all these would fit. We'll select these other two and we'll make those same changes. 400 by 400. Now let's see if we can get these to all fit. We'll center this one. That looks good. So now what we can do is we can draw out our radius for our ticks and our labels. So let's start with the outer radius. Let's maybe make this 200 to start, and then what we'll do is we will grab our major tick radius. Maybe let's do 180. 180 looks good. And then if you remember, we can just knock it down just a little bit for the minor tick radius also. So now we'll scroll down to our label style. This will where we can handle our fonts. We're going to grab this radius and we'll do, let's see, maybe 170. 165. Or 160. Or 155. Okay, 150 is good. Alright, so now that we've got these set, what we can do is, not sure why these didn't update, so let's change that. What did we do, 150? Oh, apparently you can't do these, you can't group them and adjust these labels, which is fine. Go to here, 150. Okay, now we're looking good. So now we've got our 3. So let's copy and paste. We'll set these about right there. Alright, we're looking good. So now it's just a matter of let's create our labels. And one thing that you can do that I really should have shown you all in the first one is it's better to stay really organized when it comes to building these dashboards, especially when you start to package them or make changes. It can get kind of cumbersome traversing through all these and them not being any type of labeling, or not having any type of labeling. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up my reference and we're going to copy the one that I was doing. I guess it doesn't matter, they're all pretty similar. Let's take a look at the ISPro 2.0 is probably a good example. No, that one's modeled after. We'll just do this one again. Alright, so we can see this one here, which is good. So now we've got our volts. So we'll start with this. We'll do volts, water temperature, and fuel. So let's grab our text. Oh, I'm getting backtracked. What I wanted to look at that reference was so that I could label these. So this is going to be our volts gauge. So what we'll do is we'll click on it, double click in here, we'll say volts gauge. Now this will be our water temp gauge. This will be our fuel. Air. And last, oil pressure. Okay, so now we'll be able to easily identify what's what. Now from here what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with our labeling. So we shouldn't need this anymore because now at least we know what we're doing where. So now let's go ahead and grab our text. We're going to get this all set up. I don't know if we used, yeah, we didn't make any changes just to the size. We left the font the same. So let's look at the font here and let's maybe make it 35. And we're also going to center it, just like that. And we said this was going to be volts. Battery volts text. And the actual text will read volts. Now what we can do is we can copy and paste. And just put each one of these, they don't have to be perfect. We'll line it all up later. Alright, so now we've got all of our labels. So let's run through these. We've got, this is our water temp. Water temp. Water temp. And you'll notice with these we're going to have to change our width. So let's try 140. 180 looks good. And I believe there's a wrapping that you can do, or if you wanted to stack them like this you could. This one is going to be, oh, we need to update this. So this is water temp, water temp. This is fuel gauge. Fuel. Okay. This one is going to be air pressure. We can also wrap this one. And we will also want to where is it at? Center. I don't like that, so we might change that. Maybe we'll just call it air for now. No. This one was, what was this one? Oil temperature. We'll also wrap this one. And last one should be oil pressure. Oil pressure. Another thing you can do too is you can add in the PSI and some of the other labels you'll see. Alright, so I think these need to be smaller. Let's make these 20. And then let's move it over here for now. It's right in line with the 9. Okay. Alright, so now we need to build out, well, let's adjust one more thing before we start digging into this. We're going to up our cap radius to 30. We're going to change the needle length to 145. And we'll do the thickness of 14, I think. Maybe 12. Yeah, 12. Alright, so since that looks good, so we want to do 30, 145, and 12. So we'll grab the rest of these. We're going to do 30, 12, 130, 40, I think is what we decided. 45, okay. Alright, so now these are all right size. We've got labels, we know what's what. Now we just need to start building out each one of these gauges. So we'll need our reference again in this case. It makes it a little bit easier. Just so we know like what our start and stop is. So if we're going to start with the voltage, this one looks to top out at 16. So our maximum is going to be 16, our minimum is going to be 0, and our current value is going to be 0. From here, we will just make these changes to each one of these. So if you give me just one moment, we'll adjust all these. So this is 280, 100. Current value is going to be 0. And some of them are going to look really crazy. This one we're going to have to hand label. We'll do that one last. So this one's 0 to 175. This one is 100 to 280. And the last one is 0 to 100. Okay. So for the water temp, let's set the division to, what is 20 going to give us? So it looks like 30 was used. So we're going to do 30 for the water temp. We're also going to do 30 for the oil temp. The oil pressure is 25. The air pressure is also 25. So we've got everything but the fuel looking good. So now let's go in and we're going to set the value for the first one for the volts. So that one should be pretty simple. We'll just need to reopen this, go to our available properties. We're going to show game specific. We're going to look up volts. Oh, sorry, this is battery. We're going to do current dashboard values for battery voltage, copy name. Go back to here. We're going to put it in its brackets. And boom, we're there. Now all you'll have to do is just apply the same principles to the rest of these. So for your water temp, so on and so forth. Now for the fuel, what I usually do honestly is I will take, where's it at? I'll take the label style. I will just get rid of it. I will then take text. I'll do a copy paste. I will do a quick edit. Let's put this over here. And then we'll make this just an F. We will copy and paste. Turn this one into an E. We will copy and paste. We will put this one north. This will be half. This will be 1/2. And then you can do your 1/4 and 3/4 also. But that's how I do the labeling for the speedometers, or I mean for the fuel gauge. And you can apply this principle to anything, any kind of gauge that you want to build. But yeah, once you're done with these, setting each one of these for their varying different available properties, which I can show you all of those. So if we look under pressure, we will see our oil pressure, and we will also see our air pressure. And you don't want the warning values, you want just the current values. If we look under temperature, we'll scroll down, we'll see we've got our water temperature, and we've also got our oil temperature. Sorry, this is the warning. You want your oil and your water. So we've got our volts, we've got our oil and water temperature, we've got our air and oil pressure. Last but not least, we've got our fuel. For this one, you're going to want to grab game data fuel percent is probably the easiest one to work with. You can grab this one. You go to your fuel gauge. We'll set that value here. And then what you do is you set your maximum value to 100 and your minimum to 0. And then what you'll do is just set your major tick division to 25. And now you should have your working fuel gauge. Now, I have seen sometimes where because the capacities vary in different trucks this won't quite keep up. So you might have to make some slight edits or tinker with it to get that working. But that's really all it is if you want to build yourself a little 6-pack of gauges for American Truck Simulator. Now you can change the color, you can change the font, you can change the background, you can change the needle color. There's a number of different ways to customize this. I have a pack that I built that turned out pretty cool, and this one's kind of like an LED gauge pack. So you'll see this one and the speedometer set. These look pretty cool. And these will have a green glow that goes around it. And that's something that we were actually turning off in the other ones that we created. So I do still use some of these features. If you look at the scale glow color here, if we start raising this value, it should have, maybe I'm picking the wrong one, where's it at? One of these will track, there we go. So this is how you do it. You just don't have a needle and you just pull it this way. You can also do just a circular gauge, which works very similar to that. But we can do that in a different video. But I hope this was helpful. I hope you're able to build some awesome dashes. If you build any of them, please join my Discord and send them to me. It's so awesome to see what everybody else is working on, and it gives me a lot of different ideas, and I love being able to just kind of scroll through and see that kind of stuff. It's really cool to see how creative the community can be. But that's going to be all for me today. Like I said, I hope everybody enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, I hope everybody has a good one. And as always, happy trucking.